Was there a game?
You're listening to
Split the Defense.
LEAFS Post-Game Edition.
Split the Defense.
Is presented by the Forest Electrical Contractors. Professional and efficient service since 2004. Serving the Kingston and surrounding areas. Alongside co-host Craig Pearce and producer Ted Evans, here's your host, Jordan Webster.
What up, what up? Welcome to Split the Defense, Leafs post-game edition. Couple minutes late. We love technical difficulties. God, if I'm not late to the show, we have something go wrong with our streaming service. We love this. Just a great time. Great game overall. First thing we're going to talk about with the Leafs, the thing we have to talk about, JT 1000.
Oh,
so that's awesome.
Big day. Yeah.
Our captain, my captain, captain, my captain, got his 1,000th point in the NHL. The man who is the exception rule, who's been the first overall pick, he just is now the 98th player to score 1,000 points in the NHL. That's not a lot of players if you actually think about it, right, guys? Like, that's like three,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I honestly thinking about 1,000 games is like a, pretty great career, but 1,000 points, just think that's such an amazing career that he already has under his belt.
Yeah, quick math, that's 5 full teams-ish of players, right?
5 full. Wow.
Full, and that's it. That have scored 1,000.
Over
so
100 years the league's been on. So,
yeah.
wow.
Gotta say that. But couldn't the Leafs just blow it in like the NES leafiest way? Like, oh, you gotta love this. Like Steve Dangle tweets this out earlier. Like JT's gonna score his 1,000th point to tie the game, and then they're gonna blow it. Like, what is the man of a crystal ball? That's just not even fair. Like, it was awesome to see Riley score with 6 seconds. I was walking into the room to get this going. So, all right. All of a sudden he scores. I'm like, hey, all right, there's a chance to get my hopes up. Isn't that like the epitome of this team?
Yeah, I've learned not to walk away now. I need to watch every second, and even when it's over, they might call something back, so I'm still going to linger for a moment. So, yeah.
We did see that happen this season. You can't walk away from the TV, even at the end, because sometimes they call it back. Yeah, so JT, he was really getting the booze tonight, eh? Talk about salty still all these years later. Like, his contract with the Leafs is almost done, and they're still booing him hard. Like, to the point where the broadcasters, the crowd started to cheer, and the broadcasters thought a puck might be in the net from a few seconds earlier. And I'm like, guys, pay attention. JT just got dumped in the corner.
You're right. Yeah, that's what I thought
the crowd's
too.
losing their mind. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You're like, no, everybody doesn't like him there. Like that Dear John video or whatever, they still use that. That's all over the place, I'm sure, on Long Island. Like the Boo Birds were out tonight for JT.
Yeah, and all night long too. They were as strong as they were at the beginning of the game as they were at the end. And I mean, I kind of respect it as a fan base, like just to stick with your guns like that. But at the same time, like they couldn't even respect the 1,000 points. Like I thought at least he would get some cheers for that, but not still quite a few boos in the building. But
yeah,
still a lot of Leaf fans there though, so you still had some cheering.
Yeah, there was a few Leafs fans there. Can you imagine being a Leafs fan and wearing a Leafs JT jersey into UBC?
Oh man,
you'd get your butt kicked. That would not fly. That's one of those things where you can't wear that jersey there. Like you can wear a different jersey or an opposing team's jersey to almost any barn without any worries. That's one that you can't wear.
I could see maybe nothing happening in the arena, but as soon as you stepped outside, like you better get to your car quick. Better be in underground parking or have a chauffeur. But yeah, I wouldn't want to be that guy. I wouldn't be that guy, to be honest.
No. So the girl that I saw was wearing a Marner jersey, and that's what made me think of it. Like, oh my God, is that the Pearce? Could you imagine the scrutiny you take?
Yeah.
Oh, and I bet you the people that are going to that game, seeing Leafs fans show up, they're just like checking for jerseys, just like they're good. They're good.
Yeah.
It's Matthews. We like Matthews too.
Yeah, he's fine.
So,
he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. Not JT though.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, JT gets 2 points tonight. 999 and 1,000. So that was something that I was wondering if he was going to do, because I've heard players say in the past that when you get close to those big milestones, like, you try harder. Let's just not beat around the bush here. You try harder. You're going for it. You want it, right? It's right there. So I think that was in the back of my mind is JT. He did have a bit of a pep in his step once he got the first point. You did notice that he was definitely, or they maybe just the team was trying to feed him and get him involved, which really helped. And Sheldon putting him out there all the time. Not that he wouldn't, anyways, because JT's obviously a great player, but it did seem like the puck was kind of running through Tavares at the end of the game there.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, I wouldn't say it was as egregious as we've seen them like chase Marner's point totals at the end of the year. Like, sometimes it just gets awful where literally they go so out of their way to give that guy the puck, and it wasn't quite like that. But I feel like he was just really involved. Like, he really has been lately. Like, I feel like it's been a bit of a quick like run up to this 1,000 point because. Yeah, he's been playing good hockey and definitely tonight. And like, I can imagine you're 2 points away from it, but also in the place where you started your career and basically everybody hates you. So
I know, it's just so
you can't get any better than that, right? Like, such a storybook. If they didn't lose, it would be a storybook fairy tale, but instead it's just a regular Leaf story where big milestone, but they end up losing anyway. So.
It's one of those TV shows that I watched when I was a kid. It's just where you think it's going to be a happy ending every time, but something goes bad every single time at the end. So there's always got to be a new episode, right? Yeah. Every single time.
Yeah, someone's writing the Leaf story as a sitcom because there's just way too many jokes involved.
Yeah, though I said in the group chat today, I was losing it a little bit at that point. But the Leafs are the original joke in the NHL. They are the fart joke. Of the NHL, because the original joke, the first joke that we all laughed at as kids was a fart.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
And as you grow up, you see your team, and who's the first team that was always laughed at? It was the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
So tell me I'm wrong. So I want to do a quick pivot into Austin Matthews, because we were talking about JT and feeding the puck through him, but Austin Matthews, I'm just gonna come out and say he's got to pass the puck. Like, I love his shot, but like, it's so obvious. It is so obvious he's gonna shoot. He gets the puck on his stick, he's not moving it. Like, rarely moving it. Unless he's at the top of the zone and he does a little circle pivot, then he'll move it. If he's anywhere close to a shooting lane, that man is firing, and it's become quite obvious. The thing is, like, he puts them in. But
this is just what Sheldon Keefe asked from him, though.
Yeah.
It was just in the media scrum. We covered it like a few episodes ago, but like, that's what Keefe wants from him. He thinks that pucks on net like are going to generate more scoring chances for the other guys. So like, I think he's just following coach's orders. You can't blame the guys. That's exactly what the coach is asking.
Yeah,
I guess so. But wouldn't it be kind of nice to have a little bit of deception?
For sure.
You don't know what he's gonna do. Sometimes he passes. Sometimes the guy who's like leading the league in points right now, tell me if I'm wrong, unless Connor McDavid's caught up because he's went on a tear. But Kucherov is super dangerous because you never know what he's gonna do. You just don't know, because he does both really, really, really well. Right?
Yeah.
And I just wish that we saw more of that, because it seems that a lot of Matthews' shots are getting blocked, or he's not really getting the space to get them off, because it's so obvious that he's going to shoot the puck.
Yeah, it can't be one or the other. I saw that happen with Nate, because he'd always get set up in that spot, and they'd always pass to him, and he'd always shoot. And it became so obvious. And then I noticed them stop that, and he would stand there, but he'd pass it every time. Or he'd go somewhere else, and someone else would stand there, and it was like, what's going on? And it was something, I think they realized it was becoming too obvious. They tried something else, but what they did is they just flipped the switch fully, and I don't think that's the answer. It's do something like Kucherov, like you said. Be that, what does he do every time? Like, be unreadable.
I think the thing about Matthews, though, is what makes him so amazing is that he scores regardless of whether or not people, like, everybody knows that Matthews is going to be scored. It's not like this is his second season, right? Like, it's been every year everybody's been guarding him, and he still ends up scoring. And he just doesn't quite have the touch of a Kucherov. Like, that's a quite the skill to have both be like one of the best scorers in the league and one of the best like playmakers in the
Setup
league.
man, yeah.
Yeah, so like I don't think that's something I want to just. And even McKinnon, I think, is more of a does both type of a guy. Where
Yeah.
Matthews like that, I want him to fire pucks. Like I think that that's his skill is being able to score regardless. He has the Ovia
agree.
touch
Yeah, I was
from
gonna say
back
the
in
Ovi
his.
thing.
Yeah,
And
it's
he
just
got
If
like
he
lots of
scored it-
space every now and then.
If he scored it any lower of a clip, I would not condone this. He
yeah.
put so many pucks in the net. You're right. You have me
That's
sold
it.
on it. I agree with you, but like it's so obvious watching these games that he's going to shoot the puck and everybody knows he's going to shoot the puck and the other team's getting in the way or they're just pressuring him really quickly and he's not getting his shots off. The thing is that he can make shots like his first goal, that wow, wow, wow message you sent. That was a
Yeah.
beautiful tic-tac-toe play on the power play there. Marner tips it up to Matthews and he kind of stops it with his backhand and just fires it top cheese for
You know
him.
what's
So like, I
interest-
mean,
You know what's interesting
ahead.
is that the Leafs' best power play plays are on a breakdown. They have stopped being able to put it together just on their setup. And the last two times that we've seen them score now, it's been either on a like breakout into the or break in into the zone, or this one was like they almost lost the puck at the blue line. Willie just corrals it with Matthews. And so like I love the play, but it was funny that it required something different again. Like they got to switch things up on the power play. But what a beautiful play though. Like just Matthews
I
too
agree.
caught it in tight and had to make like quite the shot to get it up too. I mean that's just like we were just saying. Matthews, he's the scorer.
He just puts him in the net, just fills the net. The Isles, they really controlled play tonight. It looked like it was going to be the Isles game most of the game, and it's such boring hockey watching those guys. Sometimes it drives me up the wall. I just have to sit and watch Islanders hockey. Dump and chase and forecheck and dump and chase and forecheck and like I guess it could be fun, but like I loved when the Leafs started making plays. Point is that the Leafs were clicking tonight. Things that I've been asking for, as much as it wasn't dominance. Did you see them running around tonight, passing the puck, and times that I did not expect these plays to be created, just so close to each other, and some of the that you're talking about breakdowns is what reminded me of this, is they were really clicking tic tac right all over the place. Not a lot of toe in the end there to get it in the back of the net, but lots of passes that were really crisp tonight, and everybody was really moving their feet. Was I seeing the same thing you were?
Yeah, I felt a lot. It was a weird game to me because they're just such opposite styles of teams. Like one wants to hold as much possession as possible in the zone, and the other one just wants to get the puck in there and try to get whatever type of chance they can get. So I felt like the Leafs were doing a lot of work and, like you said, like moving things around. But it's quite defeating when as soon as the Islanders they just can toss it into our defensemen and. Like most of our defensemen can't really handle the puck in an elite way. And so like, yeah, but I did feel that, tic tac in a row into their zone. A lot of good board play too. Like they're one of the best teams in the league at playing along the boards.
Absolutely. But yeah, that Islanders forecheck is crazy. They scored both goals off of just dumping the puck in and then forechecking and getting the puck back and putting it in the net. And you almost hate to see it. As a guy who just said what I just said, it's so boring, but like it works. And it's like I was thinking about it tonight, like they play this style and well, why would you play this style? It's so low scoring and you're just always and it's like, well, they get to the top of the zone and they fire pucks on net. And what they're trying to do is hit the goalie and score on the rebound. They're not even trying to score on a bunch of these shots. They're just trying to hit the goalie and score on the rebound. And you go, why? And then all I can see is Jonah Hill in the Moneyball going, because he gets on base. Because that's what scores goals.
Yeah, you're putting
You
the
score
puck in the
more
area.
goals off the rebound in that
Yeah.
area than you will in any other chance. So that's why we want that to happen. And, I can completely understand it. But, yeah, that Islanders team, they really have a style of dump it in, and they're heavy. All of them are heavy. And you kind of wonder how they keep up in the NHL when you see some of the names and the point totals. But they just play a really hard, a really tough game. right?
Yeah, definitely. It's also, I think it's funny because it's like a style of hockey that, yeah, you're right. It's boring to watch 82 Islander games. Like, I couldn't imagine being one of their fans. But when it comes to if you make it to the playoffs, it's the type of hockey that is playoff hockey. And so I think that like the Leafs should learn a little something from the Islanders. Like, don't bore us with taking everything from them, but I think that there's something to be learned from that style. That the Leafs have tried to have a relentless forecheck. I think it's a something that Keefe wants in the team. They just don't. They can't quite do it like the Islanders
Of the
do it.
personnel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
they just don't have the
it's
personnel.
amazing.
And I mean, obviously, that style of hockey leads to good results. As after the first period, the shots were 14-9 for the Islanders, right? So,
Yeah.
like, even though they're tic tac toe and you're making good plays and whatever, the Leafs weren't getting anything through. And that whole dump and chase and get it in, it gets shots to the net, right? And you're right. If the Leafs can get more in and they have heavier guys who can forecheck and get the puck back, then they can have these sniper guys waiting up at the top to fire it on net. Like, that's fully what they need, is to adopt a little bit more of that Islanders mentality with not as much doing that the whole game. And again, that goes back into what I was talking about earlier. Like, do you have to play a certain system all the time? Like, is that how it always works, or like, can you switch it up for teams? Like, do these guys, like, you game plan it? I'm not a coach, and I really haven't been involved in that. But I wonder, like, do you not game plan differently? Like, we're gonna forecheck this team hard, or this team we should play the trap. I'm gonna teach you all of this. You guys have probably learned all of this. Like, you're NHL players, you should know there's only so many systems that can be played, right? Like,
Yeah.
so if everybody knows everything and then you just game plan against different teams, I wonder if that, if that couldn't be an effective style for the Leafs, trying to take some of that Islanders forecheck against teams that they need to, and against teams that they like. Islanders obviously aren't a great team. They have been great, and they're not doing terrible this year, but last year they weren't great, and they're not exactly the poster boys of scoring goals and leading the league, right? But if you can take that style and adopt it against certain teams that, say, the Islanders do play well against, then I think that might be effective. And I've seen those certain types of teams are teams like Toronto, teams like the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, I don't think that it's not a bad idea. I'm just saying that like I don't think that's something that any coach asks of players. There's like it takes quite a while for a player to come into a team and learn the exact system for a coach. At least we see that all the time with the Leafs. And Sheldon Keefe does have a more extensive game plan, so that might take longer for some, but that would be something. I like it's something that like I wouldn't be surprised if down the road someone tries that, just because like coaches are always trying something new. Like, but it's just such a difference between playing like a trap game or like a heavy forecheck dump and chase versus a possession game. I'm not sure how well
Or
the
a
players
man
would
on man
transition.
versus a zone defense. We can play zone against these guys better, and we need a man on man versus these guys. So I mean, like, things like that. Like, you just switch it up depending on
That's
who's
more
on the
realistic.
ice.
Yeah,
That
defensively
kind of
that
stuff.
might work better than offensively.
Yeah, I think it could work on both ends, and like, right, you see it on the
Yeah,
defensive
maybe.
side because I think we have seen it more.
Yeah,
And if you did start to see it more on the offensive side, it might just become more of the norm.
for
Yeah,
sure.
I think as soon as the other team adapts to your system, you got to be able to change it up. If they're figuring out how to defend against your offense, or they're breaking through your defensive system every time, and you keep trying that, that's the definition of crazy. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly,
That's what
'cause-
we've done actually every year, Ted, with the Leafs, and so yeah, maybe we all are crazy.
okay, you got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So something I noticed early in the game was not even early. I noticed it, and then it really hit me in mid-second period. Is that the Islanders really got the scouting report on Ilya Samsonov? They're like, shoot it from far away.
Far
And
away, where you
I
can't
get
track a
that's
puck.
part of the Islanders game is dumping it in, but they were like specifically getting, like, they take it in. Now let's just pass it out like 10 more feet away because he can't see it from out there. Like, They clearly have a scouting report. His number is on everybody's charts, and they know where to score from on the ice against Ilya Samsonov. That's not good.
Yeah. I mean, you could just see in this game that one team had an outstanding goaltender and the other one just had an average one, just based on some of the saves that like Sorokin had to make versus Samsonov. And I think that there's two goals tonight that Samsonov that that Wool would have had and Samsonov didn't. Not saying that Wool's going to get everything, but it just like the two shots from distance. It's just like one is he's basically inside the net and the puck's on the blue line. So like I'm not sure if I didn't quite see what led up to that, but that's not a good decision. And the other one, I just feel like it just went right through him. Like it was a trackable puck. There's a lane that he could have seen, and just he didn't pick it up. So I think we're seeing that like the Leafs when they had Wall, they were getting above average goaltending for a little spurt there, and now we're back to average to below average. And yeah, he had an easy game at last game, but this game not so easy.
And that performance tonight from Samsonov or Samsonov, whatever, I should mess his
Yeah,
name up.
I never know.
That performance tonight from him, if he does that against 20 teams in the league, the Leafs win. Because Mitch Marner should have had 2 in the first period.
Fair,
so,
yeah.
Ilya Sorokin, when you have somebody as good as Ilya Sorokin on the other side, Ilya Samsonov needs to step his game up, right? And he's just not to the level of these elite goaltenders on these teams, right? So, I mean, that's a big part of the Islanders' success is elite goaltending. And the Leafs really, really had a tough time with Ilya Sorokin because, like, even at the end of the game when they tied it, I didn't think they were gonna. I'm like,
No.
it's Sorokin.
Yeah.
Like,
He'd already
if
stopped so
anybody's gonna
many.
beat you, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I know so many that he shouldn't have, and he
No.
did. He's just above and beyond, and the Leafs just don't have that in Samsonov, and we don't even know if we have that in Wool. He's good, but like he's not that good, right?
No.
Steal you a game like we should have lost 3 times. Good.
Well, I think he can steal a game.
His last game was really good, but
yeah.
But his
I
best
think that
game, arguably.
People don't give
exactly.
people don't give star goaltenders enough credit, really. Like when there's goalies like that take over a game, they don't credit it like if McDavid scores 4 and leads the team to victory. It's just one of those things where goalies, I think that we do praise like Vasilevsky when he leads a team to a cup, but it's just like I feel like Sorokin's an undervalued goaltender just based on I think the team he plays on. And he's always kind of been like the bridesmaid because he's always the runner up for the Vezina, it seems like. So never actually winning it himself yet. So, yeah, but
He's
the
gonna.
bouquet.
yeah, oh yeah, he's I think a goaltender for the next 5 years. He'll be on top. Like he's a. I don't think it's fair to expect Wool to be Sorokin. We're just hoping for like a, just slightly above. If you can give us a 9-10 average, I think that's all that should be expected.
I think though that the Leafs may need better than that.
Better than 9-10, 9-15.
Just like a real
9-20.
goalie,
Yeah.
like someone.
Yeah, 9-15, 9-20. Man, their
That's a
defense.
star goalie.
And honestly, guys, the Leafs defense, I'm not sold with Mark Giordano and Timothy Liljegren coming back and all our problems being solved. So the
There's
Leafs
a
defense, they're going to need a better goaltender if
Yeah.
they want any success in the playoffs.
I think regardless, just like there's so much problems moving the puck on the back end. It's hard to. Everybody's been asking for a shutdown guy, but really, when you look at the team, there's not a lot of guys that can fire crisp passes like from their own end to the blue line or to the like red line, and and in tight just to make really good decisions to break things up. Like that was a problem I saw tonight. It wasn't just the forecheck of the Islanders. It was also the Leafs blue line was kind of like other games haven't been as hard to deal with the forecheckers as tonight, and I thought it kind of showed where they just had an issue with making the first 2 passes to make it a clean breakout.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's all I got on the Leafs. Do you have anything else that you want to toss in here?
Tonight I don't know. I think that might be we covered basically all of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did. So I want to talk about something that happened like yesterday and the day before, and like, um, unfortunately, Dylan Larkin. This is the biggest thing I want to talk about. So
Yeah.
Dylan Larkin, he got pushed in the face by Matthew Joseph, and Matthew Joseph was defending his net. He didn't cross check him in the face. You can go back and watch the replay. He hit him with both gloves.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Parker Kelly was coming full fledged in towards the net, and Larkin's head. I didn't even actually see what happened, but he was laying unconscious on the ice after all of it. Now, for all of that, David Perron goes in and he cross checks the first guy available because
Yeah.
what else you do? I'm not sure he saw it, and they're my
Didn't,
guys ice
obviously.
cold on the ice. So he comes in and he cross checks Artem Zub in the face, and David Perron, who's played over 1,000 NHL games, maybe even like over 1,100 NHL games, he got 6 games
Sick.
for that.
Yeah.
Jacob Trouba hit somebody in the head like a baseball bat with his stick, and he got a fine.
Not
Okay.
the same at all. Not the same at all, but I get your point. There is some truth in there though.
I
you
mean,
know?
what else happened? There was another one that just happened just recently, and he got 1 game suspension, and it's like 1 game, but David Perron comes in, and it like,
The Gubranson one?
oh yeah, that's what we're gonna get into next.
Right,
That's the
okay.
good. Yeah, he got 1 game as an aggressor for that. Okay, let's just finish this. Artem Zub didn't miss a shift. There's absolutely no
Warrior.
injury, and everything was fine. He was fine at the end of the
Yeah.
day. He never really hurt him, and he gets 6 games. Why for David Perron, who played 1,100 NHL games, apparently never has a suspension? I get this from Alan.
Yeah, Alan Walsh.
His agent, right? So like, why? It seems very similar to the Jason Spezza thing against the Winnipeg Jets. He never had a suspension, and he gets 6 games. Why? Does that make any sense to you? Before you even answer that, let's just flip into Nick Cousins comes in, forechecking hard, and Eric Goodbranson's going for a puck, and Nick Cousins absolutely boards the hell out of him. But it's no,
Should have been a 2-minute penalty.
it's a 2-minute penalty. It's no end of the world hit, right?
Yeah.
It sucked though, and
big time. Head
Goodbranson
first.
was not happy about it, understandably so. And like, I know that like I've advocated for not acting like that, but like at the same time, I'm gonna play the devil's advocate and say I can see myself being like, I hate you now, and losing my temper and getting up. I'm not hurt. I'm going to hurt you. But that was when I was 6, right? I
Right.
did that when I was a kid, 8, and I had to learn my temper issues. But you see him after jumping Nick Cousins in the middle of the play. He just literally grabs him, just coming down the side. He's just like, nope, we're going down.
Oh yeah.
Takes him down, and then proceeds to punch him in the back of the head.
Woof. Yeah.
Just barreling down in the back of his head.
One
One
game.
One game.
He got up
Unreal.
the first time after the hit. He goes, he attacks him. The scrum gets taken out. Okay, nothing. Takes him down a second time. Beats him in the back of the head after the guy's turtling on his, like, he's still just wailing. 1 game. David Perron,
Unreal.
flying monkeys into him with his cross check. Doesn't hurt the guy at all. Absolutely. 6 games. Where's the precedent in that? Austin Matthews went and cross checked Rasmus Dahlin like clear in the face. He got 2 games.
Yeah. Do you want to go?
This
Teddy?
isn't even for David Perron. This is like, what are you doing, NHL Department of Player
Yeah.
Safety?
That's it. It's just that I don't know what's going on there. If they try to justify other missed calls and suspensions they've done and try to add them into other ones, or if they have a hate on for certain players and certain teams. Like, there's honestly crazy things going on there. There's no precedent. There's no standard. There's nothing. They just spin a wheel, pick a number. I don't know.
Honestly, it's like spin a wheel.
Two games. Hey.
I want to just start with the Group Branson one because like that guy just went Red Ross, right? Just flies down. I thought it was worse at when I first saw it like live in real time. I thought it was worse than it actually ended up being because like I saw like a hit at the boards. I thought he crushed him and then just jumped on top, but really he threw his gloves and just grabs him, wrestles him down. Cousins
Yeah.
wanted nothing to do with it, right?
Oh.
And he throws some punches. Like
Coward.
I don't know, I'm not even sure it deserved a one game, to be honest. Like seemed like a fine to me because like at least you're getting the right guy to go into Perron. Like I think part of this is that Artem Zub had nothing to do with the play. And Perron just decided to go and cross check a guy that's just standing there. He didn't touch the other guy. Like to me, that has part of it, but also it just you can't look at past history at all with the league. I swear that anything can be anything, and you just basically have to just pray if it's your team that you get lucky this time. But yeah, it reminds me of the Spezza thing. Like both things are kind of intent to hurt. But like guys that just have super clean records and would like have never had like a history of like being aggressive or anything like that. So I don't know. They're definitely both suspensions, but just like I don't know, like get the number right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even fully agree with that. Like Jason Spezza hurt Neil Pionk, and he was out for 6 games. That's understand. Artem
Yeah.
Zub was fine. Like I know it looks bad, but like he was
Right.
fine. He didn't miss any time. He's just no listed with an injury. And I mean,
What do you-
like,
What do you think real? So if let's say that Spezza is correct and it's a 6 game, so then like what is Perron's to you? Do you think it's like 2 or 3? 3?
yeah,
Yeah.
2 maybe. So it's 2 because you cross-checked him in the face just to cost him Matthews. You get another one because he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
So
but
it's
it's not
3.
4
Or
because
they
he's okay.
consider the third. Yeah, I was gonna say they
Yeah, and
consider
if
the third or
he's-
fourth because he's okay.
Yeah.
And-
Exactly. If it was the
yeah.
4, you get 4 and maybe 5 if he wasn't okay, right? Like I don't
Yeah.
know. And then
I
like
don't know.
It's just not correct
I don't
though.
know.
Like
No, they don't have a scale or a rubric that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
you know, they're not doing it right.
luckily they can
but that's the
appeal
thing.
it.
You can't set the precedent at Jason Spezza and what if and let me answer that and think that
Yeah.
I have any say in any of that because there is no precedent.
I know.
It
I just meant if
is
it was
what
you.
it is. It's just, I mean, like, yeah, obviously, like, but we have like we
If it was
understand
me,
some
no
sort of
abs, get
hierarchy and
suspensions.
like a 1 to 10 kind of scale, and like you balance it off other things. And no, instead you just make it up. You're just like, well, today, you know,
Yeah. How we feeling today? Yeah.
Also, Spezza is not a good comparison because like they're also trying to crack down and give higher, like heavier suspensions. It seems to be a trend this season moving forward. So I feel like everything now is just like they have free reign basically because they've said that. So it's just like they can give whatever, and this is the new president. But next year there'll be a new one for sure.
okay, so like if I know it's crazy, but like if David Perron did what he did in public and like he was just me and you and like I whacked you over the head with a stick, okay, I might get like an assault charge, right? And you were fine. Maybe it wouldn't even come out of it. If you did what Good Branson did and attacked a man twice in public, you'd be in cuffs, right? Like you'd be sitting in a cell, you'd be detained, there'd be problems. And I'm just saying that like you have to consider the whole human element that I get it's a game and I get there's rules and I get but like look at that. Look at it like that. He literally attacked the man. Like he went full-fledged, beat the living crap out of the back of his head. Like I've never seen anybody lose their cool like that in an NHL game.
Other than Todd Bertuzzi, maybe.
Oh, I mean, we've seen a lot of.
I mean,
It's
sorry,
not that bad.
I
He didn't Bertuzzi the guy.
Exactly. I was gonna say it's if he didn't
that's a
do
little
that,
touchy with the
there's-
whole Dominic Moore thing because that's
Yeah.
really touchy to talk about. But like, yeah, I mean, that was kind of a freak accident the whole time, anyways. But that's a totally different topic.
Yeah, let's not get
He
into that
got
one
charged,
right now.
yeah. Like I mean, he got an assault charge. so-
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's that one to me was
It was.
such an outlier. But a lot of things in hockey would be assault charges. We can't just say that because he got one. Like if you think
we have
about
to
it,
understand the whole
because they're protected
suspendability and
within
how
the
they're equal.
game.
yeah,
Like everything
Yeah.
kind of comes within the game. It's like he did this, he did this. It's like there's nothing in the game that's like, yeah, you can just like walk up and like blindside punch a guy from behind and like
he didn't quite do
knock
that
him
though.
the-
But it's
Gudbranson
okay
on
to
this
hit him in
one.
the face with your stick. It's not okay to hit him in the face with your stick, but you can walk up and blindside punch somebody in the face. Actually, it's worse if you hit him with a stick, right?
Yeah, oh, big
Even
time.
if the one guy's hurt and the other guy's
It
not.
should,
If
like-
even if you hit him with a knee, right? Like I don't even understand. Like I just don't understand. And there's
No,
no
yeah.
there's no precedent. There's no
There's
no
not.
sense or logic to how the NHL Department of Player Safety operates, and I just will not understand it. This conversation has done absolutely nothing for my knowledge
won't
on
change.
why
No,
it is the way it
no.
is.
We all
It
agree
just
that they're
basically-
awful
yeah.
at it.
that they're
just
awful.
makes
Yeah,
no
I think
sense.
that's resounding. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's good to hear. Anything else that we have here to talk about? You guys know that the PWHL is dropping the puck on January
Yeah.
the 1st.
I'm really excited for that.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to have to buy some tickets for that. I can't wait to start covering that and telling all you fine people what we think of that team because that's going to be so much fun. I hope they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hopefully
I
they'll
don't
be
even
the same.
care. I'll enjoy it regardless. I know that the hockey is going to be good, so I just hope that the viewing experience is fine. You know.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's hard to get tickets.
Yeah,
They're
good.
like sold
Good.
out. Like it's
Good,
Perfect.
that's
That's
big
what we
event, big
want.
deal.
I want it to be hard for me to get a ticket. That's
Yeah. So then, yeah, that pumps up TV deals, and they go, okay, well, people want to see this, so yeah, exactly.
They're also going to be a part of the All-Star Weekend in Toronto. So
Yeah.
a couple of things about that we never talked about. They're going to do PWHL is going to do a 3-on-3 contest and an NHL. There's going to be an NHL Alumni Man of the Year award, which will honor the 1967 Maple Leafs. So this is all in the same tweet. But can you believe that they're going to do that? The 1960. Why do you have to do that? Like
Why?
we know, we all know.
Like, just bring it up. Bring it up.
The cool
again.
thing about this is they're going to have captains picking teams again. That's what I really wanted to talk about.
Yeah,
That's
that's-
probably the best way
that's
to do
sick.
it. No hurt feelings about getting picked last. I mean, you're at the All-Star game. Like, get over it. Well, I'm not
Exactly.
the best All-Star. It's like,
Yeah.
God, like, you're
how
probably
are
not
they-
even the best on your team sometimes.
Did they mention anything about how they're choosing like representation of players from each team, or is it just going to be kind of like the
Oh,
obvious ones?
it'll be the same crap as it always is, where you pick one player each representative from the team. Hopefully, every team's got a good player.
Well,
Yeah.
is this celebrity thing? So I was under the impression that each team had a celebrity, and the celebrities were picking the teams.
Are the celebrities picking the whole teams?
jeez.
I thought they were just a part of it. Like the celebrity is that maybe they're gonna coach, maybe they're gonna play. Like I don't know, like a
Like
probably not
Bieber
play,
stands
obviously,
with
right?
Matthews, and they pick
That's
together.
what I'm thinking. Maybe something like that. and
I
they-
thought it
they
was
pick
going
a
to be
team
like
together.
Bieber had his team. It was Team Biebs, you know, and he would pick Matthews first.
Ah,
don't
see, yeah,
know.
well, because I was told there's gonna be team captains for each
Okay.
division.
All
So
right.
that's how it's gonna work, and then those team captains will be accompanied by celebrities.
Okay.
So it's gonna be fun, and I'm certainly gonna watch probably all 3 days for the first time in a very
Right,
long
yeah,
time.
me too.
Because like normally it's so dumb, and I'm like, but this sounds like a little bit of fun,
Sounds exciting.
right? 3-day
sure.
draft. There's gonna be like all sorts of stuff with alumni. We got the PWHL tournament involved. It's gonna be a good weekend with the hockey, and I wonder what goes on for skills competition. Like at this point,
Yeah. I'm not
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
I also
I love
don't.
the new stuff.
I don't want to.
I wonder where they're gonna be. We should get down there. Go
Yeah.
and see if we can
to the
see it.
skill spot. Yeah, that'd be easier
Yeah,
to
the
get to
skill
than the
spots,
game.
Yeah, 100%. Right.
Yeah.
We should definitely go and figure out where that is and check that out.
I think it's also like a little unfair. Everyone is kind of, poo-pooing on the 1967 celebration, and I think it's people are seeing it in a negative light. Like I haven't heard one person say a good thing about it, but like these guys won, and some of them are still around, and I feel like it's something to. It is a celebration, right? So I think everyone should make like for them, they should make something of it.
It's like every time a city hosts an all-star thing, they like honor the last
Yeah.
team that won the cup. It just happens to be that this.
Yeah,
one
it just
is,
happens.
We're not going to just bail on that. That'd be worse.
These guys are like, what about our time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Speaking of 1967, I don't know if we ever spoke about this. The Pizza is a new sponsor for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think it's on their helmets.
Yeah,
Can
it is.
you
Yeah.
believe two things? The
Where
first
this is
thing,
going.
that the heir of a Boston Pizza doesn't have Boston Pizza on the helmet. There's Pizza, the competition. Although they're not really competition because Boston Pizza is a different type of place.
Yeah,
but
different, yeah.
still, Pizza, Boston Pizza. Anyways, you get my point. Second, why? Because they're established in 1967. That is like the unluckiest thing. Like if we were to abort anything and try and get rid of this curse for the Toronto Maple Leafs, it would be crappy Pizza.
Yeah,
Pizza.
that was that started in '67. Yeah, that all ties in way too close. Get that off the
Yeah.
helmets. That's crazy.
I'm telling you right now.
I'm sure there's a conflict of interest. There's probably a reason why a Boston Pizza can't be on it. But like
Would
for
you
it to be
guys
so on the nose with Pizza is just awful.
Toronto
Bring
Maple
back
Leafs
TikTok.
helmet said Boston Pizza. That I know it's not about. That just wouldn't fly. Though.
No,
Come
that's
on.
even worse now that I
Yeah,
see it.
Boston.
Yeah.
Pizza.
Oh, true. Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
good
No.
No.
That's a good point.
Bring back
Just put the-
TikTok.
Because they're like, we live. Boston's like, we literally own you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although that's a Canadian company, so I don't understand
I know.
that.
I know.
Yeah, there must be a story there.
It's all
but-
in the name.
Yeah.
Go all Brad Marchand. We have to advertise for you because you're so irrelevant. It's very not true. Boston Bruins are very popular. Anyways, this is a great show. Not so much a great game for the Leafs, unfortunately, losing in
Got a point.
overtime. But you know what? They get a point again. Again, they got
In
a
the
point.
last
Just
second,
keep
too.
on trucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep on trucking. So as long as they keep picking up the points and wins every now and again, hopefully they can make it through to get their defenseman back and realize that they do not have what it takes. Make a trade and put this team in
A
the
big
right
one.
direction. Headed down the stretch here. We are about to get into the dog days of hockey, though. We got like a couple more weeks of excitement, Christmas, and then it gets real slow until like the end of February. But we will be here through the whole thing, covering it all.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's all. Thanks everyone for listening on Amherst Island Radio as we broadcasted from the Chumley's Kingston Tower of Power. And we will be back every Leafs game, post game on YouTube. I think that's all we broadcast to, right, Producer Ted?
That is true.
There we go. So we're on YouTube every Leafs post game, and every now and again we'll drop some other content. So check out the Split the Defense page. Thanks for listening. Peace.
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 You've been listening to
Split the defense.
a Toronto Maple Leafs, Colorado Avalanche, and NHL podcast. Hosted by Jordan Webster, Craig Pearce, and producer Ted Evans.
Split the defense.
Is presented by LaForest Electrical Contractors. Professional and efficient service since 2004. Serving the Kingston and surrounding areas.